There you go. All right.
Okay.
I'll start off. I'm here today with my client, Ms. Marshall, and we're going to be talking about the video that I made about ITGS. I did go off and make some changes to the video and worked on improving it with the notes and feedback that you gave me. However, I did not work on all of them. I only focused on the main ones, which were making everything symmetrical and in order. And I also worked on changing all the abbreviations to full words, such as ITGS to Information Technology in a Global Society.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree. I've looked at the video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So the first question I'd like to ask you is about the planning. For the planning, as you know, I started off with one idea in mind and about how I was supposed to make it, but it didn't turn out that way. Could you please tell me how you felt I did before and after?
The planning initially was a little too brief and unrealistic, but you carried on and you made part of this movie using those ideas. What I did like was that you realised that it really wasn't going to work, because you could have carried on right towards the end and you wouldn't have had a video, so you stopped and then you reevaluated and you replanned, and then you talked to me about how you could actually make a simpler but faster product, which I thought was very good.
Right. I would also like to ask you about the changes that were made to the video and how you felt I did before changing it. Also, because of the physical sticky note idea not working, I changed to the virtual sticky notes. Did I check back with you before changing them, and did I do this for the rest of the changes as well?
I think your communication with me has been actually very good.
Okay.
You have asked me at the stages when you've decided things that are really not working, and you've asked my opinion, and you've asked me to sort of walk you through things. So I've actually been very pleased with your level of communication, and you know, even when we changed to the virtual sticky notes, you were still letting me know what was happening.
All right. Okay. Next up, I would like to ask you about the technical ability that I displayed when making the video, and which stood out to you the most, and could you explain why?
So the technical ability.
Yes.
Once you'd actually got the sticky notes idea set up, it was actually it was a very similar kind of technique.
Yeah.
And part of, I think, one of the things that we worked on and we looked at was the timing.
Yeah.
Because that's really quite important in terms of bringing everything in at a not too fast, not too slow kind of pace. So that technical idea of how to change things, some of the spacing needed to change in terms of the lettering. So you've actually worked on that. There were issues that I just don't believe that there were enough graphics to help emphasize the idea. Now I appreciate that your sticky note, that there wasn't really supposed to be very many graphics, but to explain a topic like that, if there's just graphics, then there isn't enough kind of visual ideas to help tell that story.
All right.
But technical work was fine.
All right. Okay. Thank you. And the next set of questions I'm going to ask you is related to the design criteria and the first aims I set out during the beginning of the course. I would like to ask you, did the video get your attention immediately, and in what way did it get your attention, such as the music or the color?
It was actually the movement. So as the text started to come up, that was the first thing that pulled me in. There was a really solid contrast between the background and the text that was there. The music, it was my choice. Unfortunately, it's awful.
All right, okay.
That was my choice.
Yeah.
And it sounded quite nice when I listened to it for about 10 seconds.
Right.
But if you're listening to it for 2.5 minutes, then no, it's really irritating.
Okay,
I think we really need to change that.
All right, cool. The color scheme, was it a good mix or could it be improved? And which colors stood out to you the most?
I actually liked the sticky note idea, that nice bright colour. So, and I was quite happy with the colour scheme.
Okay. If I had more time to make the video, what would you have liked to see done to the video to make it better?
We talked about this just a little earlier. I think it just needs more graphics, and they need to come in. They need to stay longer. they need to be extracted a little bit more carefully.
Okay.
So yeah, we can save them out as a different file format to bring them in so that they can be bigger. So you could actually have a big image or a small image that comes out to a big image to emphasize a point, that so people can see some ideas.
All right. And now, did you understand the point of the video at the end of it? And did it inform you about ITGS?
I'm gonna have to say I understood because but I actually read the entire thing. Now, I think one of the things that we probably need to look at is, I don't think anybody who watched the video will immediately understand it's about a subject, ITGS. Okay. So unless you actually patiently read the entire thing.
Okay.
Excuse me.
That's all right. All right. Next up, I'd like to ask you about, how did you feel about the pace of the video? Was it too fast? Was it too slow? Or just right?
I actually think the idea of the sticky note was really good, and that was one of the things that we were working on.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? That it was going to be on a stand when people are walking around. So that idea of something moving and something flashing would direct people's attention. So I actually think that actually worked well.
All right. And the final question I'm going to ask you today is about the background track of the video, which you've already talked about, but if I were to change it, what kind of genre would I change it to, like classic or pop?
I would actually, I think we probably need to work on that a little bit, whether the people who we're trying to attract are your age.
Yes.
So what would pull you in? And I'm kind of leaning towards some kind of a background, not intrusive music. So I think we'd have to probably try a few, come to a bit of a compromise and see, and maybe test it with other users and end users and see what they might think.
All right. Okay. Yep. Thank you for your time for today.
Thank you, Rohan. Oh, we're gonna have to